Good morning, Rabbi Sai. I have to try to be as quiet as possible. The guys are still sleeping at 7 o'clock in the morning here. How's everybody doing? On vacation with the most getrayerte, how do you say getrayerte in English? Dedicated. Most dedicated person in MDY, Gary. He drove 4 hours. I can't say to be here, but he drove 4 hours. And he's here this morning on vacation, 7 o'clock in the morning, sitting right next to me. Mordechai. Let's start out with some emails here. Shalom Reb Eli from Yaakov Lang, MDY Ramat Eshkol Yerushalayim. I just wanted to say that you taught us, at least I can only speak for myself, something very important yesterday besides the daf. I was by the last siyum, actually the last three, okay. And you got up and said that since you were proud of your boys who were doing a siyum on Maseches Tainis, you're going to take them on a scuba diving trip. But then you told them, I'm not going to wait, and Amir Hashem will go within 2 weeks. And today is 2 weeks. No, it has a lot to do with Gary. Gary's the one that pushed me to go, so I have a kar satoiv to him. So thank you for that important and valuable lesson, Yaakov Lang. So here we are. I'm not going to mention the name of the city here, so I don't get emails and certain things, but we're in a private villa, and we're doing things very kosher. Getting a private scuba diving guy to take us scuba diving. Reb Eli, thank you so much for calling a spade a spade. As the Chaim said when writing a sefer, most people will understand the point you were making. I'm sure you'll have some people who say Eli was mocking tznius, totally misunderstood. So I want to tell you, I couldn't believe it. Not a single email. This is the only one. Now that doesn't mean that you have to go and feel that you have to write an email now to show that there are people that are moicha. But nobody felt the need yet. Sorry, but unfortunately, that we are seeing more and more yeshivish wives of Avrechim walking the streets with skirts clearly way over their knee, kind of almost proving a point. I wonder if it stems somewhat from the over-obsessiveness and the single most important factor in some of the schools today. That was basically the point I was making. Here goes Gary. I was not chas v'shalom. I am a person who I try at least to be makbid to the T of halacha. And I was in no way, shape, or form making fun chas v'shalom of the halacha. I was mocking the obsessiveness, that it's the yomim v'layla to bring out a measuring stick. I thought that was overkill. And for your information, my daughter's elementary school here in Ramat Bet Shemesh did the skirt length measuring campaign. They killed both my daughter's passion for dressing tzniistic. They are sure that they have front seats in Gan Eden for doing this and doing it this way. Please don't be discouraged from any comments coming from people who missed the point. Yehuda Yosef Josephson, RBS. Shkoyach. Molandi. This is a short vart. Bekitzer, I'm not going to go into the vart. Thank you again for everything that you do for the klal. I know you get a lot of positive feedback, and I hope you realize that for every inspiring email, there are 20 at least that weren't written. Mo Landy. Dear Eli, my name is Eli, and I'm living in Berlin, Germany. There's a small community of religious Jews. Me and my two friends, Dovi and Nathan, do the Daf Yomi with your videos, and it's great. Thanks for making the daf with us. Two tzaddikim from Germany. Yes, they still learn, and they have the art scrolls in English, I'm assuming. Rabbi Sai, here we go. Like I said, I'm going to have to tone it down a little bit. Even though I'm excited and I want to sing songs, and there's some songs to sing, you're going to have to sing them by yourself, I think. Today's shir is sponsored. Koilul. Chayim, Avrumie, Leyb, Akiyah, Yonathan, Chayim, Maseches Megillah is sponsored by the Davis and Kessler families and schools for Refuah, shleima for Miriam Esther, Devora. Maseches Megillah, Shmuly, Hecht, F245, the neshoma of Mordechhi, Shalom, פינחס, Tobia, Avraham, Ner. Is that me? Avi Factor decided to call now. What's pshat? Okay, but you know that if you call in the middle of YouTube, usually it goes off. So it's not a good idea. In honor of RL97 Akiva Tepper for introducing me to Reb Eli's Daf. Ask him what he wants. Maybe there's a big problem somewhere. He's calling again. Abi, please don't call again. Thank you. Daniel and Tzirel Cohen. Zechus for Refuah shleima for Gabriel b'yom ben. He has to say something every share. And here he is. His name was mentioned again. Avi Factor is calling. Avi Factor, shkoch for calling. I really appreciate it. Daniel and Tzirel Cohen. Zechus for Refuah shleima for Gabriel b'yom ben Tzirel from Avrumie Gross. Avrumie Gross, in great appreciation of my mom for principle for putting up with me. Maybe somebody that's watching on Zoom could tell Gary whether or not YouTube is working. What's going on? Speseder? You sure? The mic is no good. Maybe it's just that I'm talking lower. Miller wishing continued Hatzlacha to his sons Yaakov Moshe and Yitzi Miller for both honor to be learning the Daf of the rebellion, making your mother proud. Okay, here we go. Today is Daf Tazayin. We're starting to Daf Tes Vav Amud Beis on the bottom, like 10 lines from the bottom. Vayisaper lehem Haman is kfeid Oshroi v'roiv Banov. Haman discussed the amount of children he has. V'kameroi Banov Amarav Shloishim. He had 30 sons. Asara Meisu v'asara Nitlu. 10 died, 10 were hung. V'asara Mechazrim Alapsachim. And 10 became collectors. They didn't have a father. They didn't have parnasa. You could show this later. I printed it for later, but if you want to know what the Aseres B'nai Haman look like, here they are. Great. It's Nagia to later Sugya. Actually, there were 70 collectors. Al-Tikri Sveim, they weren't full, Elo Shivim, 70. Avrumie Barabba Omar Kulum, Mosayim Ushmoina Havo. This is a different rate I saw here. How did he have so many? And this is part of what he was trying to do. He was trying to conquer all the Sarim's wives, and that's how he fathered all these children. He was trying to do that with Esther as well. Shenema V'roiv Banov. V'roiv B'gematrio Mosan V'arbeisar Havo. So here we have Roiv. What do we have here? We have V'roiv. Let's see. V'roiv Banov, V'roiv B'gematria Mosan V'arbei Sahav. V'roiv is 214. Says the Gemara, Shenamar V'roiv Banov, 208. So this is 208. 6 plus 2 equals 8, 208. That's where we are. I skipped. Zog the Gemara. But at the end of the day, it says in the Megillah with a vav, so it's another 6, it's 214. If you look closely, it doesn't have a vav right over here. It's missing the vav. So together, it's 208. Says the Gemara, Shalom Aleichem Yoel, the Tzaddik Yoel. That's why we're here, because of Yoel. He's up in the 7s. What time is it now? I have no idea. 7:30 already. Balaylo ahu nodido shnas hamelach. That night, the famous pasuk, the sleep of the king was disturbed. Omer Rebbe Tanchum nodido shnas malki shel olam. It's referring to the Rebbeinu shel olam. Kaviyachol. He doesn't sleep, obviously, but he was disturbed. The malachim above, the sarim were disturbed like the ones below. No, we're talking about the king, like you read it, that's how the pshat is. Achashverosh's sleep was disturbed, that what? He started thinking, he couldn't fall asleep. Omar, What's going on here that Esther, she invites Haman? What's going on? Maybe he wants to kill me. Then he thought, no, he's going back and forth. There's no, I don't have a single person that loves me, that they'll tell me the secret. Then he says again, maybe somebody did me a favor and I didn't pay him back. And that's why they're not telling me. And that's why he says, let me look into it. Let me see why I didn't pay back a favor. So that the Malach didn't want, the one reading it didn't want to say the story about Mordechai, so it was read by itself. The Malach read it. It was just read. So the Gemara says, Ksav mi boy lei. Kosov is now. Ksav is a previous Ksav. Milame, top of Daf Tazayin Amud Aleph. Sheshimshi moichek v'Gabriel Kaisev. Says Rashi, Shimshi was already there. He was a writer for the kings from the time of Koresh. So he's the writer. He opens up the book. He sees it says Mordechai. He doesn't read it. He erases it. Comes Gabriel the Malach and puts it in there. Omer Basi Dorash Reb Shili Ish Kfar Timroso Umaksav Shalamata Shalis Chus Shol Yisrael Ein Nimchak. You see from here a tremendous thing that if the HaKadosh Baruch Hu makes sure that what's written down here doesn't get erased, Ksav Shalam Malo Leikolchkin. Certainly, whatever's written up there for eternity never gets erased. They didn't do anything for Mordechai. Not because they were so nice and trying to be nice to Mordechai. They hate Haman. They knew that Haman would be really upset with this, so they wanted to get Haman not to do a favor to the Jew, but to get Haman. He was a hated person. So we're talking about the tree, the pole, Heichen loy. Tana loy Heichen. Not that he prepared it for Mordechai, but loy Heichen. He prepared it for himself. Vasei kain leMordechai Omer lei. So Achashverosh says, okay, who should I do the favor to? What should I do? Do X, Y, Z. Okay, you, Haman, do it to Mordechai. So he says, he starts playing dumb. Manu Mordechai. Who's Mordechai? Amalei HaYehudi. There's a lot of Mordechai, the Jewish one. Amalei Tuva Mordechai, it could be Yudai. There's a lot of Mordechais by the Jews. Amalei HaYosh B'Shar Melech. The famous one, the one that's sitting by the entrance to the palace. Amalei Sagalei B'Chad Diskarto. Him. Just give him a village. Yinami B'Chad Nahara. Or maybe a river. He'll collect the tolls. And what do you have to do all the stuff for him? Amalei Honami Avlei. You know what? Add that to the list. Give that to him also. Al Tapel Dover Mikol Asher Dibarta. And don't miss even one thing. Vayikach Haman Salavush V'Sasus. So Haman takes the clothing and the horse. So he sees Mordechai teaching the Talmidim the halachas of Kmitza. Now, it will happen to be the 16th of Nisan, and the 16th of Nisan is the day that we bring the Omer in order to eat the new crop. Found a picture right off of the video here. In Shir, I was showing a Kmitza. Kmitza is you take your hand and you go directly into the fine flour, and then you take your fingers like this. Now you have it. And whatever's in here, these three fingers, that is the kmitza. You can actually see the flour falling back into the bowl. That is your carbon. That's it. 25 cents less worth of flour. So says the Gemara, even the Chazim Mordechai, the Apik Likav Levis will say, Mechad biyodei, Mirtas. Mordechai sees Haman with a horse. Then he realizes, wait a minute, I saw a pshat that this was 70 days. It takes 70 days to be able to make a gzeira. Okay, so it was Haman's 70th. And once Mordechai wasn't so afraid of him, he couldn't kill him. But it was day 70, then he could kill him. And when he saw that he had a horse from the king, he says, Oy vey, he's already in there, he's coming to get me. He's coming to kill me. It's an Eis Tzara. Once it's Eis Tzara, you got to be careful. Everybody around could get burnt by the coals if you're in a time of Gzeira. So get out of here. What does the tzaddik do? He davens. So he starts davening. Also Haman kamayu, and Haman was shashtil. He was quiet the entire time. And he waited there at the salik Mordechai letzloisa. He was concerned to disturb him. What are you dealing with? What kind of sugya are you learning? In the time of Beis Hamikdash, whoever brings a carbon mincha, you bring one handful of fine flour, you get a kapara for a little bit of flour. Says Haman the Rasha, your little flour, v'dochi asara alfei kikri kasbededi. Look what it did. One handful of flour, carbon, because you have kavana, is more powerful than 10,000 kikris kesef, tremendous amount of money that I want to destroy the Jews with. So Mordechai says, Rasha, Eved shekana nechasim. So Mordechai realizes he's not going to die anymore. He realizes that something's up with Haman. He's talking like this. He says, look, it's pushed off. It's pushed off. So he calls him a Rasha. Eved shekana nechasim, Eved limi unechasim limi. So as we said yesterday, that Mordechai bought Haman as a slave. Haman needed the bread. So he bought him. He's a slave of Mordechai. So what's going on here? I saw a beautiful pshat in the Yaris Dvash, Yonathan Eivshitz. He says that Haman was saying, I took the 10,000 kikri kesef and I gave it to tzedakah. I did charity with it. But your carbon is greater than that. Usually, it should be the opposite. Tzedakah is more chashuv than a carbon. But I say that no. It says Mordechai, shaita. It reminds me, I know a guy that donated a beautiful mikvah. Beautiful mikvah. And they gave him a lot of kavod and his name. It turns out that every penny of that mikvah was stolen. He stole money from Frum Yidin and he built a mikvah. Says Mordechai, that money is mine. You're an eved. Mashakana rabbi, mashakana eved kana rabbi. So you don't have a right to give tzedakah with my money. It's my zechus. You gave tzedakah, it's me. Who built the mikvah over there? The guy that the money was stolen from. That's who built the mikvah. Omar le kum levoish hanimoni rochev haisusya. He tells Mordechai, get up. You have to wear these royal clothing and ride this horse. The boilach malka. The Queen Esther wants you. Omar le lo yachilno. I can't. I have to first wash myself. I have to take a haircut. So, but it's the middle of Yontif now. We're talking about the 16th of Nisan. It's Chalamayit. How can you take a haircut? They say that he was an oinus. He couldn't take a haircut before Yontif because of the fast. So then, if you're an oinus and you really can't, you come out of jail. The halacha is if you come out of jail, you're allowed to take a haircut on Chalamayit. Shadres levas vasartinu lekula beimanu banu lekula umone. She heard what's going on. She told all the people in the bathhouses and all the barber shops, you must leave. It's vacation today. Why? Because she wanted to get Haman. So Haman had no choice. He had to wash and bathe Mordechai. When he got his scissors from his house, and he gave him a haircut. He's in the middle of giving a haircut. He goes, I can't believe it. What happened? I was all the way up here. I'm Haman, and look at me now. I'm a barber. What's going on? Why are you groaning? I was greater than all the nobles. What now? I give baths and I give haircuts. Russia. Again, he calls him a Russia. I know your history. You were a barber, and you're still a barber. Tana Haman Saper shel Kfar Kartzum hoya 22 shana. In fact, Haman was a barber for 22 years. So when I'm reading this Gemara, the first thing that came to mind is they have a barber, a Russia. 22 years, Russia. But Rabbi Isai, even when you're a barber, you could be the greatest of the greatest, biggest tzaddik. And who comes to mind? Refuah the barber. You have Haman the barber and Refuah the barber. You could take any job you have and turn it into ruchnius. Which reminds me, and I have to say this, when I was a kid, there was a tzaddik, Shebet Tzaddikim, his name was Dr. Geller. I have no idea where he is today. I haven't seen him in 40 years. Every week he gave a full day, at least a full day to Klei Kodesh. And of course, my mother was a teacher, and my father refused to take money from Koilel, from any guy in the job. So to say that there's no money is an understatement. And the fact that my teeth are still here in my mouth is a testament to this tzaddik that took his job as a dentist and gave it to Klei Kodesh. So wherever he is, I have tremendous akar tzedakah. And I also heard that his son, who followed in his foot, is also a dentist, also does that today. So Yishur Koyach. Another thing, my shver, Zola Zeng gesund und stark. I was in the catering business. He took that catering business and he would do weddings on Sundays. But obviously my shver is a very prominent surgeon. He could afford to pay for people's weddings, but he didn't want to. What he wanted to do is he wanted to work the wedding as a waiter. And he got the entire family involved. His brother was a big part of it. His mother, Aliyah Shalom, used to cook. The women were in the kitchen cooking the food, and the men and the women in the women's side, waiters. My children were waiters, bartenders, the ganze Zach. The whole wedding from A to Z was the family. We did it for chesed, to teach us. He taught us chesed is not, sometimes you don't write a check, you do biodayim. So you could turn any business, a catering business, a dentist, a barber, into davar shebekdusha. Okay, so he gave me a haircut, put on the new clothing, the royal clothing. Amalei, sakr choiv, get up here and let's go. Amalei lo yachilno, the khishoch mimei tanisa. Kids and Mordechai sees he's in business, he's taking advantage of this situation. I'm too weak to get on the horse. What do you want? Gochinu salik. Haman gets down on all four. He becomes a stage, he becomes a step, a stool. Mordechai gets on his back. Kisalik, when he gets on his back, he gives him a kick in the ribs, breaks a couple ribs, gets on the horse. And I just added the rib thing, but yeah. Haman becomes a Talmid Chacham, starts quoting psukim. It says, when your enemy is down, and look at me, I'm down. I'm literally on all four. Al tismach, and I'll be happy. Omalei, says Mordechai from the horse on top, Hanemi libi Yisrael. That's by a Jew. You become my bama, you become my stool, and I should step on you. This is what the king, this is what we do for somebody that the king loves. So now he's going through the streets, he goes in front of Haman's house. His daughter is on the rooftop. Sorry, I skipped. She thought that the guy on the horse was her father. The guy, the guy that's schlepping the horse is Mordechai. In those days they didn't have bathrooms. They had a little bowl. So she took the bowl with all the waste in it. And she threw it off the roof on her father's head. So he gets a zetz in the face. He picks up his eyes, and then she noticed that it's her father. She jumped and she died. So Reb Eli said, I have to tell you that years ago, when I was in Chicago, I had this plan. I was going to get a horse and ride the horse on Purim. And I found out that it's very difficult. You can't just bring a horse into Chicago. It doesn't work. I did this, I did all sorts of things. I finally got a horse. So I dressed up like Haman. I extended my nose. And I had a 3-thing hat. And I went to a bank, to the drive-thru, and I knock on the window. The lady almost fell off her chair. She sees a guy with a nose like this, on a horse. What is going on here? Then I went to Dunkin' Donuts, drive-thru, and I bought a bunch of donuts. And the guy comes to the window again. Then I went to my house in Lincolnwood, 3601 West Albion. Yeah, whatever, I used to live there. And I had my daughter, unbelievable. And I had a picture of this. And I was bitzar gadol. I couldn't find the picture. I searched for it for over an hour. I had my daughter go to the window and throw diapers on me. Kilo, like dirty diapers, kilo. And mimic that thing. We took a picture. And so last night we were sitting at the restaurant and I told my family that, I have a lot of tsar. We have a picture somewhere and I don't know where it is. I want to show the oilam. And my b'chor Aaron, he pulls it out of his pocket in a second. Here it is. So I have the picture. Our boys, here it is. Here's my daughter. This is me. Look at that nose. It's unbelievable. Oh, this one. Givaldic. Now you might ask, and here's the diapers. Why is Haman on the horse? Well, that's what the daughter thought. But also it's Purim. So, whatever. That's how I ran around the city like this, in a horse. Givaldic stuff, back in the day, when we had more time. Zog the Gemara. So Mordechai went back to the king's gate. He continued fasting. Ovel al bitoi. He just lost his daughter, so he's bavelos. Al she'erloi. He's full, he has waste stuck in his hair. So chafi roish. Says the Gemara, which one are they? His people that are his friends or his advisors? Omar, Rabbi Yochanan, even if you're not Jewish, but you say Dvar Chachma, Nikra Chacham, we call him a Chacham. The Mordechai, how's the sound? It's decent. Is Avi factor okay with the sound? The Mordechai. They told him, listen, if Mordechai is from the Yehudi, forget about it. Nafal people, you're gonna lose. I see the sun coming out. Is that going to be a problem? Okay. So the Gemara understands that Yehudim means Yehudim is from Shevet Yehuda, not just the Jew. You have 4 Shvatim, lo yachlas. If they're from the rest of the Shvatim, you're going to beat him. If he's a Yehudi, Yehuda, Binyamin, Ephraim, Menashe, not. Yehuda d'chsev yotcha ba'iref oyevecha. Iref, the back of the neck. You have him in a choke. Your enemy, you have him in a choke. Yinoch, the other 3, Binyamin, Ephraim, Menashe. D'chsev b'hu, l'fnei Ephraim, u Binyamin, u Menashe. Oiro es gvurasecha. Shall I move or not? Okay. Little bit of a change. You know what? I think you're messing up Yosef now. No? Okay. Ki nafail tipol lefanav, you are going to fall. Dor should be the bari loy. Shtei lefilas halal lama. It says nafal tipol, double lashon. Amar loy umazu mishul lafar. Klai Yisrael is like the dirt. Look, Klai Yisrael said that we're going to be like the sand in the ocean, the sand on the ground, and like the kechavim. When a Jew drops, when he goes down, we know the Jew could reach the lowest of the low, the self-hating Jew, the terrible people that we could be. And when we go up, we can go up to the stars. So first of all, Haman had waste on his head. he still didn't take a shower. But the Gemara, I saw again in the Reb Eli Stefansky, Kam Tzadik. It says in Reb Eli Stefansky in Yaris Bash that the day before there's a problem. Haman came. He came with his getchka. He came with his avodah zarah. So the avodah zarah, like we saw with Esther when she came in, and there was avodah zarah, it ruined the shechina leaves. So he was able to destroy any plan that we had. But today, since he didn't have a chance. Bebahala, they just it was immediate. They brought it in there. They were all everybody was all famished. He didn't have a chance to bring his avodah zarah, and that was the whole plan. The tsar, this adversary, this neshoma b'nezik hamelech, omerloi tsar ze neshoma. He doesn't care about the destruction that he's causing. B'nezik shel hamelech, shel melech. He was the one, as we mentioned before, who's memuchan? That's Haman. He was the one that gave the eight to kill Vashti. Why, says Esther? Because he's jealous. Hashta, and now he's jealous of me. And he wants to kill me, she says to Achashverosh. Why twice? You don't speak directly to the king, even if you're the wife. It's not chashuv. Then, even the Omerle, the Beis Shaul, she mentioned to him that she's Jewish and she's a descendant of Shaul. Oh, you're royalty? Royalty could speak to the king. Miyad vayomer Esther hamalko. Vatoyme is the ish tsar va'oyev Haman hara hazeh. Gives me tremendous. I'm just thinking now. I don't usually talk directly to YouTube, although I do, but I don't. Now it's like it's like a foot away from me. I feel like I'm talking to David from California. You know what I'm talking about. The original David, the original one that was on YouTube. Guy number one refuses to go to Zoom. He's Mr. YouTube. She pointed because he was bad. Achashverosh is bad, and subconsciously she started pointing at her husband, at the king. He gave her a whack, and her hand pointed the other way to Haman. Says the Gemara, unbelievable. There's Shiva, there's coming and going and getting up. Just when he got up, he was furious. When he came back, he was furious. What happened? When I was a very young child, maybe 3 years old, 4 years old, my father took me to a Gaver Rabbi Moed, a very chashuv person. And obviously I'm not going to say his name. And I was outside, very busy, destroying his garden. I picked all his roses and I made a whole thing. He comes out and he says, "What are you doing?" I remember this very vividly. And I said, I'm making charoises. So he was a real Litvisher and he goes, "Chareises macht mir. Oh, chareises." He was going crazy. I'll never forget it. Gaver Rabbi Moed, a big chashuv mensch. And you don't mess with a man's garden. He put a lot of effort, I guess, into his roses, and he couldn't believe that this kid just destroyed his whole garden. A king, he goes outside, and he sees they're removing all the beautiful trees from his garden. They're destroying it. He went crazy. What are you doing? What do you mean? Haman told us to do it. So they got Haman into trouble. Also, Levei says, now he continues, he goes into the house, he's furious. And sure enough, Haman is on the same couch as his wife. It should have been that he already fell, not that he's in the process of falling. Haman was trying to get up. The Malach came and pushed him back down. On her. I go outside, you're destroying my garden. I come inside, you're destroying my marriage. What's going on here? You're trying to conquer my queen with me in the house? Charvoina was a Russia. He saw that this the tree, didn't work out. So he changed teams. He went to the winning team. Vayne dechsiv. Vayash l'chol le'achmol. Miyodoi beruach beroyach yivrach. He ran away. V'chames hamelech shachacha. Instead of shacha, it's shachacha with two chavs. Shtei shchichois halol ulama. Achas shamakish shaloylam. Achas shalachas shveirosh. Because Baruch Hu Kavyochel, calm down. Haman is dead. He forgave Klal Yisrael for the avodah zarah that they did. V'amri achas shel Esther, achas shel Vashti. The two terrible things that happened to Achashverosh, he calmed down Achashverosh. We're diverting now off the Megillah to the story of the Shvatim, and they came to Mitzrayim, and Yosef gave them clothing, and Binyamin gave him 5 suits. Zog the Gemara. Efshar Dover Shinitzar Bo Yosef Tzaddik. Ask the Gemara. How did the whole situation happen with Yosef? How did he end up in Mitzrayim? Because of jealousy of the brothers. Because Yaakov Avinu gave Yosef more than he gave the others. Turning to Daf Zayin Amud Beis, Yikoshel boy. What, so Yosef didn't learn his lesson? No, a lot of times that happens with chinuch. A kid says, I'll never be like my father, and then he goes and he beats up his kid and does terrible things to his own kid. It happens, but not Yosef Tzaddik. Yosef Tzaddik knew that there's a problem caused because of jealousy, so why is he creating jealousy between the brothers? Why would he give Binyamin 5 times the amount of his brothers? Because a little bit of fine wool, talking about Meshver, so I'll talk about Meshver again. Every time he gave one of us something, a menorah, whatever, each one had to get the same exact thing, so that one kid doesn't have one iota of a reason to be jealous of the other. Okay. Sponsored in honor of my parents Josh and Naomi Strook, sponsored by Aaron Strook. And the zechus nishmas Aaron ben Shimon HaKohen. And sponsored, we're changing the wording here, in honor of Reb Eli for all that he does, Yeshar Koyach. So why did Yosef give him 5? To be meramizim. That Mordechai is going to come out of you, and he's going to walk out of the palace. Shenema or Mordechai Yotzav Levush Malchus Tchelas Kur Agirman, the whole thing. 5 different clothing, a crown, etc. What time is it? I have no idea. We don't have the big clock. 5:02. We have 5 minutes. So Rashi's not goyrus kamet zavar and habalei Binyamin. What, he had 2 necks? He says it is common to see this in the Torah, a double lashon, but the drush is still here. Amar Reb Elazar, bocha shnei mikdashim shnasim liyas b'chag Shemiyam. We saw this many times. They saw Baruch HaKodesh, the Beis HaMikdash is going to be built on Binyamin's share in Eretz Yisrael. Remember, the Beis HaMikdash, the Mizbeach goes in a certain shape because a little bit of it is Binyamin, Yehuda, and they're going to be destroyed. They had to cry about it. And Binyamin cried, and Yosef, Bocha Mishkan Shiloi, that we just discussed, 369 years we had a Mishkan in Shiloi. It's going to be destroyed. Just like I have nothing against my brother Binyamin, who wasn't present at the time of the sale of Yosef. I have nothing. The same amount of sinna one to the other. Ki pi, 2 words. Ki pi hamidaber aleichem. So the Gemara darshans is kefi, like. Kefi kein libi. Kefi, just like my mouth. Kepi kein libi. And Yosef sent, we'll just continue now with the Shvatim for a minute. So he sent to his father Yaakov 10 donkeys that brought the best of Mitzrayim. Maimetu Mitzrayim. Omer Rabbi Yom by Ofes, Omer Rabbi Elazar, Sholach lo yayin yoshon shedaskinim noichim menu. The best wine. I don't know. It says that elders, they appreciate wine. Today it's the younger guys that appreciate the wine. Whatever. It's the good geschmackes stuff. So the brothers went and bowed. Omer Rabbi Yom by Ofes, Omer Rabbi Elazar, Hanadamri Inchi. Ta'ala bi'idnei. Ta'ala is a fox. When he's doing well, a fox is a lower animal. When he does well, sagidlei, you should bow to him. Says the Gemara, Ta'ala, you're going to call Yosef a fox? Maybe tzirusei me'achoya. Why is Yosef considered a fox compared to his brothers? What, the brothers are lions and he's a fox? They're on the same level. Elo yitmar hachi yitmar. I have to say, the pshat is, vayishtachu Yisrael al rosh hamita. We're referring to Yaakov Avinu. Yes, he's the son. He's a fox. The father, Yaakov Avinu, he bowed to the fox. Because he was the head of Mitzrayim, so he bowed. And he tried to calm the brothers down. Go into one of those rooms, y'all, and tell me how bad they could hear me. Are they all up? So we know what to do tomorrow. Maybe you have to go to the roof. The roof is gorgeous. Beautiful view of the city. I'll take you up there soon. You 10 brothers tried to extinguish the flame, the neshoma. How am I, one, going to extinguish your flames, 10? The light is Torah. Nachman Seltzer's song. I think Yosef should insert it right here. I'm going to pause for 3 seconds. Yeah, okay. I can't sing now. The Olam is sleeping. And I don't have an audience. You want to sing? Have to sleep. Simcha, what's a Simcha Yontev, right? And it's mitzvah and sukkahs, misamech, Yontev, all Yom Tov. V'chein oimer, v'samachta b'chagecha, sasai, zu mila. So this always, one of my favorite stories. There was, I have to say it, even though I might have said it yesterday. There was a woman in, could you hear? How do you know? You went to ask her? My wife doesn't hear. She doesn't hear. How do we know that? Whatever. Somebody asked her. Okay. But now she does. Oh, it's 8 o'clock. She's ready to go. Oh, she was. Okay, so we have to ask Ara now. Could be we're good to stay here. There's a woman in Russia who couldn't give her kid a bris milah because of the decree of the Russians. And a year later, she was able to get a mile to sneak in, and they gave the kid a bris. And they gave her the baby. She fell down to the floor. She fainted. They asked her, what's pshat? And she said that she made a shvuah. She accepted upon herself that she won't kiss her own baby until he has a bris milah. Unbelievable. So when she kissed him for the very first time, after a year, she fainted. It's an unbelievable miraculous story, for me at least. So Rashi brings here unbelievable. David HaMelech was in the bathhouse, and he looks. Rashi says he looks, but they say on the side, Haggai says he didn't look. He thought about it. He thought to himself, I don't have Torah, I don't have tefillin, I don't have tzitzis. I'm naked from mitzvahs. What should I do? And then he remembered that he has a bris milah. A bris milah. Then he was happy. And by the way, I forgot to mention, these are the 4 mitzvahs that Haman took away, made a decree that Klal Yisrael can't have. The 4 mitzvahs. These 4 things. Yantiv, Milah, Torah, and Tefillin. V'yikar elu Tefillin, Rokal ha'oretz kishim Hashem nikra alecha v'yoru mimeka. Right? The Tefillin Shiraish, we always talk about the Vilna Gaon story. Okay, the Goyim ran away from him. V'tanya, Reb Eli, right, what was the story? The Goyim saw him because he had tefillin and they ran away. So they said, but we also have tefillin. No, it's in the head. In the head, not on the head. Biroish. Elu tefillin she biroish. What's inside the head is what causes the guy to run away, not the physical, not the chitzonians. Beis parashat also aseres b'nei Haman omer Rava adod miyafoy aseres b'nei Haman v'aseres tzorch lememrinu b'neshima achas. So that's why we have the minhag today. We read the 10 sons of Haman in one breath. My timer. It's written. So you think that they died individually. Every 5 minutes they killed another one. No. They all died in one shot. Nobody's going for carpool now. Nobody. I don't see anybody going. So if they want to leave now, they could get up and go. We started a few minutes late. I only have here on the YouTube 45 minutes, so that means we started late. Yeah, another 2 minutes. Okay. They all died in the same moment. The vav and vaizasa has to be lengthened. So there's machlokes rishonim. Do you physically write it longer? Do you say it longer? K'medurya, the livrus, like a pole in the boat. They used to have these poles for boats to know where they're going and whatever. So in the place called livrus, like a long pole. My taima, kula b'chad skifa is the kifu. So that's why I printed this one. I thought it's a gevaldik picture. I hope I have rishos. I don't know. I got it on the free place, but okay. They were all on one pole. This pole. Okay, that's the Yisod. All 10 of them. Take a good look, it's a Gevaldig picture. So here we go. By the way, everything here is printed this morning here. Why? I gotta show you this. Hold on. Maybe you just show this. Here. This is what I schlepped. Okay. I had to show you that. I'm getting into the van to come here, and I'm holding, I print, my whole family burst out laughing. They make fun of me. Sure, we're going on vacation, you're schlepping a printer. I need a printer, what am I going to do? I got to show this stuff. Here, it was Kedai. And that's not a printer. The A3 printer, the backup one, because Mordechai Stefansky bought me a 10,000 shekel printer. But that's the backup one. Ariach is half, is the word. Ariach is a half a brick. But Rashi says that it's referring to the words. And then you have a full brick, the empty. You see? This is how Shira is. So, the point is that if the half a brick takes a step forward, he'll fall on something. He has something to fall on. And the whole one, the empty spot right over here is on top of the half. That's in Shira, like Hazinu, the Shira, like look at the Shiras. Oz Yasher. Chutz Meshir Zu, Umal Chiknan, Shoriach Agabi Ariach. But when referring to, this is how it's written in the Megillah. If they take a step forward, they fall and they can't get up. They go all the way down to the time. Let's just do another 2 lines because we can't fall behind in these sugyas. Achashverosh was trying to say bad stuff about the Jews. Got a smack, yichap, don't say anymore. Omar Mabay was Esther talk. Let's just stop here. I want that the Megillah should be written and written for eternity, and you have to say it from a Megillah like we learned in the Mishnah. You can't say Megillah by heart. You have to read it from within. Have a wonderful day. Gewaltige Sachen, Rabbi Isai. So proud of you. On vacation, came to listen to the shir. Gewaldig. I had to give you the chance. I had to give you the choice. This tzaddik right over here.